Hello guys, in the last video we saw how to do loops, a very basic approach of for and while loop, and how to use them and how to manipulate. In this video we'll take it a step ahead. We'll do a simple factorial example. Just so you know, a factorial is a number. So each number has a factorial. For example, 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 120, so on and so forth. So basically when you need a factorial of a number, you just take all the numbers up to that number and you multiply them together, right? So let's quickly have a look at how we can do this in Python. I want to do inputs. So we did a video on how to grab input from the user, so we'll be using that here. I'm just creating a variable, calling it fact, assigning it a value of 1. I'm declaring a variable called number, converting that to an integer. As when a user types something in using the input function, it's a string, so converting that into a integer. And then we're writing a loop and we're saying for range in 1 to num plus 1, basically to make sure that someone enters 10 needs to be inclusive. That's why we're using num plus 1, because the number here in this part of the range function is not inclusive. That's why we're adding plus 1 to it. So what we're doing, and fact is not 0 because you multiply anything with 0, it ends up being 0. So we're using the factorial of num, which is basically that number, and we're using fact and multiplying it with I, and I goes up to num. To see how that works, let's just play and enter a number. So we know for 10 that's 3.6288 million. Let's do a smaller number. We saw in the example, we saw number 5. So when I enter that 5, it's 120. That's good. We're doing the same down here with, the reason it's printing twice is because I'm doing it once with while and once with for. So with while loop, you do I equals 1. Basically you're instantiating iterator variable, and then we're also instantiating fact. I'm gonna make fact 0 just for fun here, and whenever I is less than or equal to num, here we're using equal to, so in for we have to use plus 1, so it includes that number. Here we could do less than or equal to because we're using comparison operators. So now we're taking the fact variable and giving it itself times I. Each time it multiplies itself with the next number, and then we're incrementing I, and then we're just printing this. So if I play the second number, if I give it a 5 again, the second number is 0. So you have to make sure fact does not have a 0. It's a very common mistake. So when I play this again, it will have the same values. If I do 6 times 120 is 720, so there it is. Yeah, perfect. That's good. That's all in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you need notifications. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.